Welcome, viewers. Today, we reveal the darkest failures of Britain's greatest hero, Winston Churchill. Picture 1940, a fearless bulldog with a cigar roaring at the Nazi regime. Rewind to 1915. Meet an arrogant man whose reckless ideas brought a tragic, dark fate. He caused the Gallipoli nightmare. This massive failure claimed thousands and almost destroyed his life. How did this broken man rise from the ashes to become the ultimate savior of the free world? We start in a dark, underground bunker. The air is thick with tension and heavy cigar smoke. It is 1940. London burns above, yet this old man stands unyielding and completely defiant. He is the Prime Minister. His voice alone pumps courage into the veins of a terrified nation. He fiercely refused to surrender. He became the living symbol of British resilience. But to understand his true greatness, we must first examine his catastrophic and deadly failures. Let us step back 25 years. The year is 1915, and Europe is tearing itself apart. The First World War is raging. A much younger Churchill sits in a sunlit London office today. Serving as First Lord of the Admiralty, he is brilliant, ambitious, and dangerously arrogant. He believes he can outsmart the enemy with a single, glorious stroke of pure naval genius. Targeting the Ottoman Empire, he wants to force a passage through the guarded Dardanelles. Historians agree that this massive plan looked incredibly bold and visionary on paper. However, the harsh reality of war is rarely dictated by neat lines drawn on a London map. Churchill ignores the warnings of his senior admirals. He pushes forward with absolute confidence. He thinks British warships can shatter the coastal defenses and capture the enemy capital. This overconfidence becomes the fatal flaw that leads to unimaginable tragic suffering. The naval assault begins with a massive bombardment, but the Ottoman defenders are prepared.
Hold the line, men! Do not retreat!
Hidden sea mines and fierce artillery fire quickly destroy several majestic Allied battleships. The mighty fleet is forced into a humiliating retreat. The grand naval strategy has failed. But Churchill refuses to admit defeat. He stubbornly insists on launching a grand ground invasion. In his position, would you order a retreat to save lives or double down on a failing plan? He chose to double down. Thousands of Allied troops land on the hostile Gallipoli Peninsula. The main objective is to secure the high ground and open the straits, a mission doomed from the start. The young minister's reckless gamble has now set the stage for one of history's most tragic downfalls. The contrast is truly jarring. The hero of 1940 once built a terrible disaster. Back in London, politicians eagerly await news of a swift victory that will end the war. They trust the confident promises made by Churchill. They believe British might is truly unstoppable. Yet thousands of miles away, young men are sailing towards a nightmare of mud, disease, and flying lead. Many of these soldiers are from Australia and New Zealand. They are known as the brave Anzac forces. They carry the heavy burden of Churchill's grand vision. They step onto the shores with high hopes. But the reality they face is a massive wall of steep cliffs and relentless enemy machine guns. The promised swift victory quickly dissolves into a brutal stalemate in the dusty trenches. The Gallipoli campaign drags on for 8 dark months. It becomes a tragic loss of human lives. The Ottoman defenders, fighting for their homeland, hold the high ground, and rain down continuous fire. British and Anzac soldiers are trapped on narrow beaches. They suffer from intense heat and dysentery. Documents record horrific conditions. Men are forced to perish in shallow, fly-infested pits. Every attempt to advance meets a hail of bullets. The casualty numbers rise to shocking levels. When the retreat is finally ordered, over 250,000 Allied troops are tragically lost. It is an absolute disaster. The sheer scale of the tragedy sends shockwaves through the British Empire. The blame falls squarely on Winston Churchill. His proud reputation is instantly shattered to pieces. In the halls of Parliament, his political enemies seize the chance to completely end his career. They mock his strategic failures and call him a dangerous liability to the entire war effort. Stripped of his role at the Admiralty, he is deeply humiliated and publicly disgraced today. Many believe his political life is truly finished. He is seen as a toxic and completely broken man. The haunting memories of the Gallipoli dead weigh heavily on his conscience in his darkest hours. Can a leader truly wash the blood of 250,000 men off his hands? What do you think? Desperate to redeem his lost honor, the fallen minister makes a highly dramatic, bold decision. He resigns from the government. He puts on an army uniform and heads to the brutal Western Front. Serving in the muddy and rat-infested trenches of France as a simple battalion commander, it is a period of intense reflection. He faces the deadly realities of war firsthand. This humbling experience tempers his arrogance. It teaches him the true cost of human conflict. He learns to appreciate the grim resilience of soldiers facing terrifying and deadly odds. Yet his political ambitions are never extinguished. He quietly waits to return to power. The 1920s and 30s see him isolated, a lone voice warning against a rising threat. While politicians seek peace and appeasement, he constantly warns of the growing danger in Germany. Dismissing him as a warmonger, they remind the public of his past failures to keep him out. A prophet without honor in his own country, his stubborn nature makes him totally unpopular. But the wheel of history turns. The fragile peace in Europe finally shatters in 1939. Hitler's massive war machine violently invades Poland. The Second World War has truly begun. British appeasement collapses in total disgrace. The nation is simply unprepared for this war. As the crisis deepens, the traits that made Churchill a liability become totally essential. The British people need a fighter. They need someone stubborn, ruthless, and highly uncompromising. Gallipoli's ghosts still linger, but the threat of Nazi domination is far more terrifying. In May 1940, amidst disaster in France, the broken politician is called upon to lead. Returning to the underground bunker, Churchill is now Prime Minister, facing a grim situation. The British army is trapped at Dunkirk. France is falling, and a Nazi invasion seems imminent. Panic grips the government. Senior cabinet ministers are truly terrified and trembling inside. Some argue for a negotiated peace with Hitler. They believe the brutal war is totally lost. To save Britain from complete destruction, they offer humiliating concessions to the dictator. This is the ultimate test of character. The stubbornness that caused tragedy must now save the nation. Churchill fiercely rejects any talk of surrender or cowardly compromise inside the cabinet. He commands the cabinet with his strong force of will. He bullies defeatists into total silence. He knows negotiating with a tyrant is a fatal mistake. Britain must fight, no matter the cost. His best weapon is not a rifle or a tank. It is his masterful command of the English language. He steps up to the microphone, preparing to address a frightened and desperate British population. He offers no false hope or easy victories. He promises nothing but blood, toil, tears, and heavy sweat. His words carry a gritty realism, acknowledging the danger while inspiring profound courage. He declares they will fight on the beaches, on the landing grounds, in the fields, and in the streets. He roars that the British Empire will never, ever surrender to the dark forces of tyranny. These powerful speeches act as a sudden shock. They transform the public mood from despair to defiance. Ordinary citizens find a newfound strength. They prepare to defend their island home with their own lives. In the skies, the Royal Air Force engages in a desperate struggle against the German Luftwaffe. The Battle of Britain rages on. The fate of the entire free world hangs by a very fragile thread. The man who ordered the Gallipoli landings now coordinates a massive national defense. Does surviving a deadly threat require a leader who is unhinged and beautifully irrational? His blind belief in victory is a prophecy. He simply refuses to accept reality. He ignores military statistics that suggest Britain must surrender to the Nazi war machine. Projecting an aura of invincibility, he walks among the smoking ruins of bombed cities. Flashing his famous V for victory sign, he chomps his cigar and glares at the hostile heavens above. People adore this display of true defiance. He becomes the living embodiment of their courage. He visits the exhausted soldiers and brave pilots. His presence alone boosts their wavering morale. He turns a desperate military retreat into a glorious narrative of moral absolute triumph. He understands the profound psychology of war far better than any academic strategist. A tactician might have surrendered to save the island from brutal aerial bombardment and destruction. But Churchill's brilliant flaw is absolute blindness to defeat. This flaw is what ultimately saves them. By holding the line in 1940, he buys enough time for the entire world to slowly awaken. America and the Soviet Union finally join the deadly war against fascism. But without his earlier defiance, the entire European continent would have fallen. History remembers him as a towering hero, but he was a deeply flawed human being. His giant ego clouded his military judgment and caused terrible tactical disasters. He caused the immense, tragic suffering of thousands in the dusty trenches of Gallipoli. Yet this same ego was the powerful and mighty shield that protected Britain from destruction. He serves as a powerful reminder that true greatness is rarely ever perfect or spotless. A terrible tactician can sometimes be redeemed by possessing an unbreakable iron will. He did not defeat the Nazi regime by executing flawless and brilliant military plans. He conquered his enemies by simply refusing to accept the grim reality of defeat. Many modern historians still fiercely debate his complex legacy and controversial deeds. They point out his mistakes, his colonial views, and his deeply stubborn personality. However, No one can deny that he was the right man at the perfect moment in history. When the entire world was trembling in the dark, his voice provided a shining beacon of hope. His speeches manipulated the English language and sent it into violent, glorious battle. He forged a deadly sword out of beautiful words and handed it to every frightened citizen. The tragic failure of 1915 was needed to create the hero of 1940. The blood of fallen soldiers humbled his heart and prepared his soul for the ultimate global test. Without the harsh lessons of Gallipoli, he might have easily surrendered to the Germans. He learned that true victory requires immense sacrifice, endless pain, and absolute dedication. Today, his truly iconic image remains etched into our collective cultural memory. The Homburg hat, the thick cigar, and the defiant fingers raised in a glorious victory sign. He stands as a towering monument to the incredible power of human resilience. As we look back at his life, we must fully embrace the profound duality of his existence. He was a dangerous liability in peacetime and an absolute necessity in war. His story proves that our deepest, darkest human flaws can become our greatest weapons of survival. A leader who never makes a terrible mistake cannot make the hard, necessary choices. Churchill made terrible mistakes, but he never ran from the heavy consequences of his actions. Carrying the immense weight of the world on his shoulders, he dragged his country across the finish line. The smoking ruins of London stand as a testament to both his terrible failures and his triumphs. From the ashes of defeat, he built a giant legacy that will inspire generations forever.
Looks like the dawn has broken at last.
His powerful voice still echoes strongly through time, reminding us to never, ever give in. A great speaker, but a flawed leader. He saved Britain, yet his past is completely soaked in tragedy. Do his great victories truly erase his deadly mistakes? Tell us your honest thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel.